Welcome back everyone, Racer X here, and today I am back with my good buddies at Courtesy Dodge Jeep Chrysler Ram in Tampa because they finally got in the Ram RHO. Yes, the TRX replacement with the high output Hurricane inline 6. Does it really stack up against the TRX or does it leave you wanting? Well, today we will find out. If you guys are brand new to my channel, please do me a big gigantic favor, hit subscribe. That button can be found right over here, and off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Before I show you this wicked Ram RHO, I wanted to mention a little product that I just started using that I think you guys might like. I've actually had quite a bit of luck with it, and for about 10 days now, I have been taking this. It is from Magic Mind. It is their mental performance shot, just one a day. No, it is not alcohol. It actually steadily releases caffeine throughout the day, but it's all natural ingredients, and I stay pretty darn busy. Between my full-time job, my busy filming schedule, I'm also a father, I've got a litany of other things going on. My stress level sometimes come up through the roof. My focus level isn't always there. And this has kind of helped me with all of that, right? It's reduced my stress. I seem to focus a little bit better. And no, I didn't really notice it so much after 1 or 2 days, but after like 6, 7, 8 days, I really started to feel a difference with this product. Now, if I'm being completely honest, coffee has always been a little vice of mine. Every morning I'm having a couple of cups of coffee with that really sweet creamer that I like to put in it that makes it taste good. It has sort of always been my thing. But as I'm trying to cut a little bit, I'm finding that those empty calories aren't helping me out a whole lot. Well, this is a much healthier alternative. And like I said, I'm really liking the other things that it does for me as well. So if you guys want to try this stuff out, I would highly encourage you to do so. I work with them to get a special promo code for you to get up to 48% off for the next 10 days. So RacerX20 is what that code is. I will pin this code in the comment section to make it easy for you guys to find, but definitely go out and give this stuff a shot. See if you like it. If not, they will give you 100% of your money back for just trying it out. And so you really have nothing to lose. And with that said, on we go with the video. And there it is in the flesh, finally, the 2025 Ram RHO. And if you were to say Racer X, hang on a minute, that looks exactly like a TRX. I don't see any difference. Well, basically, you would be right. It is the shell of a TRX, just with a different engine. They replaced that awesome Hemi, right? The supercharged Hemi Hellcat engine, 702 horsepower, with an inline 6 twin turbo Hurricane. Let's take a closer look. Now, I will admit, I absolutely love the look of this truck. I mean, it looks so beefy and so wide from the front. And it really does look like it should have a Hellcat under the hood. You got the same 3 lights here. Really, the biggest difference between the TRX and this one is you will see this badge up here says Hurricane High Output on it. Otherwise, same wheels. Everything else looks just like the TRX. It doesn't have the RHO graphics package right here on the side, but you can order that. And on the back, instead of seeing TRX, it simply says RHO. Now, the interior of this truck is really, really nice. I've always loved the TRX for the exact same reason. You can see the two-tone stitching right here. You do get some suede on the door there. You also have these beautiful two-tone seats in here with the red stitching, RHO on the back as opposed to TRX, but it feels just like sitting in a TRX. You can see this really nice big central infotainment screen right here in the middle. Now, something else new that I noticed on this truck, I will go around the other side to show you, but I did notice one other little touch. But here's the back of the RHO, and a really nice place to sit, a lot of room as you would expect from a Ram 1500, and a lot of performance. So yes, they did replace the TRX here on the dash with RHO, as you would expect, because this is not a TRX, but this, I have not seen this before. This digital display in front of the passenger, I am not used to seeing that. Now, this dealership just sold a TRX maybe a couple of months ago that was in their showroom, and it was listed at $112,000. It was a level 2 TRX decked out, but it was basically the exact same truck on the inside as this one. So let's compare the sticker price. This Ram RHO comes pretty darn decked out. It does have the optional $10,000 level 1 package, which is going to get you like massaging front seats, heated and ventilated seats. It's going to give you the Harman Kardon. I mean, you can see all the different stuff that it comes with. It is quite a bit. and it comes out to just over $85,000. I don't think these are going above sticker either, where that TRX, I know a lot of those cars were actually going above sticker for a long time, but $27,000 less money for this, and it really does look identical, except you have this now. I don't remember seeing that on the other truck. You do get the beautiful sunroof up here, so a pretty darn good deal. Obviously 702 horsepower in that Hellcat versus this one that makes 540 horsepower. You are down a little bit in power. Let's look at that engine real quick. Here's the aforementioned inline 6 3-liter twin turbo high output Hurricane, 540 horsepower, 521 pound-feet of torque. It spools incredibly fast. You can see the intake over on this side. And some people seem really down on this engine. I'm not entirely sure why, because I've driven a bunch of these engines in the Grand Wagoneer, and I have been really impressed with the performance of these things. So I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about the power delivery in this. On the highway, this thing is an absolute monster. It feels like it makes 750 horsepower on the highway. But let's go ahead and take it down the road and see if it really drives different than the TRX. So one of the big conundrums about the RHO is the fact that it does not have the Hellcat engine, and people see this and would expect that it has a Hellcat engine. They're used to seeing the TRX, and to some people that is a big letdown. And in 2024, when they started putting the Hurricane engines in these 1500 Rams, of course you had the standard output one, which is 420 horsepower, which went in the lower level trims, and you had the high output, which went in the higher level trims. This is actually the lowest level trim, the RHO, which is like my favorite one, that you can get the high output Hurricane engine in. And that, of course, 540 horsepower, 120 horsepower more than its like small brother, if you would, in the standard output Hurricane. So I feel like this is a very capable engine. As I mentioned, I've driven a whole bunch of the Grand Wagoneer with both engines in it. Actually, I've driven several of the standard output and several of the high output engines, and I will say there is a substantial difference in the way the engines make power from the standard output to the high output. And you may say, oh, well, 120 horsepower, of course, but it feels like more than that. That's all I can say. And it's not that the standard output version, feels really underpowered, but it's really glaring when you jump from one to the other and you drive the high output version at just how much faster and more torquey this engine feels. So I want to kind of take this down the road and see what it drives like. I will freely admit I have always really liked the interior space of the TRX, and this feels identical, as you would imagine. It basically is a TRX. Even when I compared this to, say, like the Raptor R, I like the interior of this one better. And that's not me being just a Ram like Homer or somebody that only likes Mopar product. I just like the interior of this better. It feels a little more sporty on the inside to me, just ergonomically. I just really like this. I like the way the seats look. I mean, I just love everything about the inside of this truck. And driving it down the road, it has that same stance, kind of that same road presence that you would expect out of a TRX. It feels literally no different. You don't quite hear it the same way. I know for you sound guys, that can be such a frustrating thing. Well, I can't hear it. Well, you're right. It's not as loud as the Hellcat is. It actually is kind of quiet. And now I want to kind of give it just a little bit right here on this little stretch. That low-end torque thump, oh wow, here comes that rush of power from those twin turbos. So, it's that typical twin turbo power delivery, right? It's like the power doesn't come on immediately, although it comes on pretty quick. It doesn't quite have that low-end torque thump you would expect from, say, like a TRX. But like the mid-level power band in this is pretty darn substantial. I mean, it definitely gets up and gets out of its own way. And as I would expect, right? I mean, it's got twin turbos. So once those things get spooled up, it has got a really nice firm power delivery to it. So I'm not unimpressed by this at all. And like I said, having driven a whole bunch of TRXs, loving that, just everything about that truck, this truck doesn't make me feel disappointed driving it around. All right, so here's another little straightaway. I'm just gonna kind of give it a little, let it build a second, not giving it much, and then just kind of lean into it. It gets it done. I mean, it gets it done. So, once it starts pulling, I feel like it has every bit as much power as a TRX. I really don't feel a whole lot of difference. Like I said, it just doesn't have that initial kind of thud that you would expect out of a supercharged, Hemi with a positive displacement supercharger. It's just a different kind of engine. So I feel like somebody could potentially ask me, look, Racer X, would you take the RHO over the TRX if you could just pick one? Say both trucks are lined up right there and somebody said, look, you can have one. Which one are you taking? I'm still taking the TRX simply because I just love the Hellcat engine. I love everything about the TRX. And like I said, this thing basically is a TRX just with a little bit less powerful engine. Very capable, this truck. I feel like it does a lot of things really well. When you're on the highway and you just mash it compared to the TRX, I feel like this could keep up. That low-end torque thud that you would expect out of a 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi, it doesn't quite have that. The sound isn't quite there. But as I mentioned, you're talking about a truck that's like $30,000 less money, and you still kind of get that road presence and just a really nice package in this truck. So I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about the RHO. I mean, 85 grand, you get a really nice truck in this. So there's that. Now, I've had several guys reach out to me on Instagram telling me they just picked up their RHO. I mean, these things are just now starting to hit all of the dealerships. And all of the feedback that I have received on the RHO has been very, very positive from people who have actually bought them and now own them. So there is that piece of it, guys. So keep in mind that the owners that are buying these, they're really, really liking them. I know you've got your Hellcat purists out there. I get it. I could maybe even be considered one of those guys. But would I rock one of these if I could get it for the right price? Heck yeah, this is a really nice truck. Well, guys, that is going to do it for my review of the 2025 Ram RHO. I think this is a fantastic package. I really like the way the Hurricane makes power. I realize it doesn't have quite the low-end torque thump of the TRX. We're talking $30,000 less money trim for trim and something like this, and it is very, very capable. I know it doesn't have the sound. For you guys that just have to have the sound, it won't scratch that itch, so to speak, but I definitely think if you look at $80,000 trucks that are out there, especially Baja style trucks in this size, I feel like this thing is actually a pretty darn good deal for everything that you get. So if this thing was like maybe say mid 70s, I think I would be all about maybe trying to daily something like this, maybe pull the Demon to some of the track events and something like this. And as I mentioned, I think this is a really solid truck for the money. Now, when they go ahead and put the Hellcat back in these, which we know is coming, don't expect it to be cheap. I'm not going to say a whole lot more about it. I don't expect it to be a real inexpensive option. I know the folks over at Ram are trying to work on getting pricing down, but this one I feel like is a bargain compared to the TRX. So that's kind of my big takeaway with this. You guys let me know, would you buy a Ram RHO? I would encourage you to go drive one if you've never driven one. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.